Hey everybody, Windrose is now in early access, and one of the best ways to play is with friends. I'm Benny, and today we're going to go over how to set up a dedicated server using GPORTAL. If you use my link down in the description below, you'll get 10% off your server rental, and I'll get a small commission, which helps the channel. So the first thing you want to do is, well, log in. Once logged in, you're going to go ahead and rent a server. Now you can also pick stuff out down here, and you see this is because Windrose is a top game at the moment I'm recording this. You can just click here and go through the process, but I'm going to show you the long way just in case it's rotated out. So we're going to go to rent a server. Again, it's listed in the top games, but if it wasn't, you can come down here and just start typing in Windrose, and then as soon as it pops up, just go ahead and select it. Now once you're on the ordering screen here, you can go ahead and pick one of these prepackaged deals, or you can configure yourself. Now I usually just configure myself, so we're going to go ahead and show you how that works. Obviously you can see how the other ones work. Once you're on this screen, you're going to choose the number of slots that you want, and you'll see that it says maximum of 8 per server. But let's say you were going to run 2 servers, that would be the only reason you would put 16 slots into your cloud. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to go with 6 for the moment, which is the minimum. The game is best with 4 players. Over that, if you start adding more ships at the same time on the same screen, you're gonna run into some performance issues. That's really what it comes down to, is the large ship combat. Let's see, we're gonna go down to, we're gonna keep 30 days, but you can see that you get a discount the more you add. And then you're gonna choose the server location that is closest to you or centrally located with you and your other players, whatever works best. In my case, it's Dallas. That's the closest central point to where my group plays. Now we're gonna go ahead and continue. Now you're on the payment screen. So you can see over here what you're gonna rent, and you can go ahead and choose your payment method. I do have credit, so I would pay with that if I was going to, but you can go ahead and select any of these and just, proceed from there. Once you're past that and you hit the, I'll show you how it looks like. I could hit the order right now. Once I hit order, it's going to process and it's going to create the server, update it, and get it set up. All right, so once you've rented your server, you'll be dropped into the status page here. And if we look down here, we've got server status as far as CPU usage and RAM. We've got access data right here for, this would be for like your FTP access. We're not going to get into FTP today. There was a time at which the basic the file manager was not working, and that's not the case anymore. The file manager seems to be working just fine, so we're going to go ahead and use that today. If you were going to use FTP, you do want to make sure that you are using WinSCP as your FTP client. FileZilla seems to be having problems with corruption, so don't mess with that. You also want to make sure that you have your FTP client set to binary transfer. Next, we're going to come down here, and this is your server files management section. So you've got restart on update. You want that active. We've got verify the game files. So if you're having issues and you want to reinstall the game files, you can do this without affecting your save. You've got a factory reset if you just want to start over, and delete all save games. Sometimes if you end up with a bunch of save games on there and you're not using them, you can go ahead and remove them easily that way. All right, once we're in basic settings, we're going to go ahead and change a few things. We can go ahead and change the name to whatever we want. I do not use direct IP connection. I like the invite code system, just a little bit easier than punching in everything else. And so we can go ahead and put in a invite code. And this can be whatever you want, just random, it doesn't matter. And then I highly suggest you set a password. There's numerous stories already about people having their servers griefed and they didn't have a password on. Enter a password. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter something simple because I'm gonna delete this server after I'm done showing you how this works. Go ahead and put your password in, there we go. And then I'm going to select password protected server. And I want to set my player count to the actual number of players I plan on having on with me when I'm co-op. Next, we're going to leave active world set to create new world, and that's because we have not started this server up yet. There's nothing in here to select. We're just going to leave it on that. And then if we're doing modding stuff, we could mess with that here. I am not going to mess with modding. It's to me, it's too early in this game's development to mess with modding too much. It's just kind of inviting problems. All right, let's go ahead and hit save. Now we're going to recheck all this stuff and make sure. Sometimes when you hit save, for some reason the invite code gets erased, and you might need to put that back in there. Everything looks good. It's the way I want it. You will notice that now our world preset says medium. We're not going to mess with the preset right now, because until we've created the game, this is the file that you're trying to access here does not exist yet. All right, now we're going to start the server. Let's see, it's running. Now, once the server starts running, it'll create a new world. I'm going to give it a second, and then shut the server back down. Now you'll see that an active world has been created here. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and customize it. First, we got co-op quests. When a player completes a co-op quest, it auto-completes for all players who have it active. So if they're marked clearly in Windrose which quests are going to be co-op, and those quests are the ones that are going to auto-complete if all the players have it active. So if you're all grouped together and you want the whole thing to complete as soon as one person completes it, that's how you do that. If you don't want that to happen, you can turn that off. This option here, Easy Explore. So turning this on disables map markers for points of interest. So by default, if you look at my map here, we have points of interest showing on the map. When I turn this on, it hides those points of interest, and meaning that you'd have to go out and actually explore in order to find your points of interest. Your multipliers here are all set to 1, which means it's just the default mob health, mob damage, ship health, ship damage, and boarding difficulty. Co-op stat correction. So if you leave this on 1, that means that each person that joins your server is going to add 1 to the difficulty modifier. Same thing with ships, and by default it's 0. And then combat difficulty, so overall boss encounter difficulty and enemy aggression. You can go ahead and modify that right here. We're just going to leave it on normal. All right, once you're happy with your settings, go ahead and hit save. There we go. And everything should be ready to go. Let's restart the server. You always do want to make sure the server is off while you are changing any of these settings, or they will just get overwritten. Or they could get overwritten. Go ahead and start it back up. And everything should be ready to go. I do want to talk about, before we start up and connect to the server, the backups and restarts. So you can schedule when your restart happens, and by default, I apparently get a 8 a.m. central date. I definitely don't want this starting at 8 a.m. I've got players playing during that time. We're going to go ahead and hit delete. Now we're going to hit create a new daily restart. Leave it on daily, time of the day. I'm going to go ahead with 4 a.m. I don't need a description for this, but if you want one, you can add one, and we're going to do that. So now it's restarting at 4 a.m. Coming here to backups, and for auto backups to work, you do have to have restarts enabled, which I do. So we're going to automatically back up here. And you can see it's already been creating them when I do a restart. You can also create a manual backup here if you're concerned about something up in here not working. It's always, I like to create a manual backup once in a while, just so I can pull that back up. And your backup storage can go up to 50 gigabytes, so you got plenty of space there for that. Let's go ahead and go back to our status screen and go ahead and connect. So you'll see that you've got your invite code right up here. You can just hit copy, paste it to your group's chat or whatnot so that everybody can see it. And then we're going to go ahead and start up Windrose. All right, now I can hit play. And go ahead and choose your character if you haven't already. Use an existing one, create a new one, however you're going about this. And then we're going to go ahead and connect to server. Now I'm going to go ahead and paste in my invite code that I copied and hit find. And there we go, Benny's test server. And we're going to go ahead and enter the password. There we go. And connect. And there we are in game. Your default server is now ready to go. All right, let's move on to how to transfer a save to your Windrose server. Now, this could be a save that you've taken off your personal system, like you're moving your local save to your server. or it could be a save that you've recovered from one of the other hosting sites, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start this off by using the local files, which is probably the most difficult one just because the location's hard to find. Obviously, if you've downloaded a save from a different hosting company, then you already know where those files are. So if we look here and put it up on the screen, this is going to be the shortcut to where Windrose stores your files, your save files. Here's my folder. And so I am in username appdata local R5. And there's a shortcut down that. There's a shortcut to that in the description as well if you just want to copy paste. And what you'll find yourself is looking at this here. We want to go into saved and then saved profiles. And we'll see that I have occasionally backed up this entire folder. So that's what this is here. But this file is going to be named after your Steam ID. So it's going to be different on every computer. Once you're in here, you're going to see RocksDB. You might see this if you've had the game going for a while on your local machine. This is the old save system. It's not in use anymore. And you're actually free to delete this if you want to. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you want it as a backup for some reason, just go ahead and leave it. It doesn't seem to have any kind of impact on the game at the moment. You're also going to see RocksDB v2 and v2 backups. Now, the easiest way to move your save to the new system is going to be to actually use the backups folder. So what we want out of the backups folder, we go in here, worlds, then we'll see a list of the worlds that we have on our local system. Now, in this case, say I was looking for this world in particular. I had to kind of note what's on the end there, the 8E16, just so we can try to keep track of which ones are which. We're going to go in here, and we're going to see that there's a zip folder in here, and that's it. What we want to do is we're going to back up to worlds, and we got to remember that this is the one we're going to transfer. Now we're going to go back to our GPORTAL page, into the file manager, go to R5, saved profiles, default, and here you'll see a RocksDB version 2 folder and a RocksDB version 2 backup folder. The backup folder is what we want to deal with first. I'm going to go into backups, worlds, and then we're going to see the existing file that we had created earlier that was auto-created when we first ran the server. So first we want to hit upload, and then we want to bring back our folder, and then we just want to drag our backup folder all the way over here into our backup folder on the server. Once it's uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and come back out. I should just go all the way to R5 and just click up here. I don't know why I'm going the other direction, but you can just click up here to go straight to R5 and then open up your server description. So what you're looking for is to replace this now with the file that you just uploaded. So let's go ahead and bring back our worlds file here. And what I'm going to do is, obviously there's a dozen different ways to get this number. We're going to come in here, we're going to grab this number, and we're going to use it to paste right over the top of our ID here. This is the World Island ID. Go ahead and replace that and hit save. Now we can go back home. What we're trying to accomplish here is to have the server recreate the files for your save that you want to upload using the backup folder. That way it's going to be in the correct directory, all the correct files are going to be there, and because it's being set up by the server itself on the server side, you don't have to worry about corrupting files when you transfer them. The saved zip file is going to transfer just fine. I've done it multiple times and tested it thoroughly. Should be just fine. What we're going to do next is we're going to start the server. When we do that, the server software is going to look for the file that we told it to, and it's going to look in here and it's going to say, well, that's not here, something's wrong. So it's going to then look into the backups folder. When it finds that same number that it's looking for in the backups folder, it's then going to create a new folder and unzip all of those backed up files into that directory. So let's go ahead and hit start. And see if we can just hit refresh in here and get it to show up. No, never that lucky. We'll come back up here, we'll go to worlds, we'll come back in. And now you can see that the folder that we had in the backups is now in our regular RocksDB, and if we look inside of it, here's all of our server files. So you should be all ready to go at this point, and even if you go back into basic settings, you can see whatever custom, if you have it on custom. In this case, it's just a medium setting. It's nothing custom about that world, and all of this stuff should be the same. So we can go ahead and go back to Windrose, and then once we're here, we hit play, connect to server. Now, obviously, I've already got it here, so I could just select it, but if you hadn't done that already, you can do that now. And then you're going to go ahead and enter your password. I think that's what it was. Yeah, we've uploaded the server successfully. Take a look at the map. There's my pre-existing game. And that's about all there is to it. So I want to thank my channel members for their support. And of course, if you want to save 10% on your server rental through GPORTAL, you can use the link down in the description. Hope you found the video useful. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or concerns or tips for others. And until next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Benny out.